Got a philosophical question for you. Player A averages 30 points per game in the finals, 8, 9, 10 assists, 6, 7 rebounds, shoots well from the field, and his team wins the finals. Great all-around offensive series. His team wins the finals. We agree that player A is likely the best player on the team. And player A wins the finals MVP. Okay. Remember, player A averaged 30 points per game. What if the team was so dominant defensively that the team could have won that series if the player had scored 14 fewer points per game? In other words, the team's defense is so dominant that even if player A had averaged 17 points per game, the team still would have won. Now, let's imagine a scenario wherein player A is playing with a teammate that is as good defensively as he is offensively. So my first question is, what is the team's defense or its offense responsible for the win? And if we agree that it's the team's defense, shouldn't the leader of the defense be the MVP? See, it begs the question, what does the term valuable mean? Okay? Is it the most valuable player, in other words, the player that made the biggest impact on winning, or is it the best player? Okay? Those aren't always the same thing. Those aren't always the same players. Okay? Shout out to my man, Rap God, who gave me the idea for this video. That scenario happened in the 1991 NBA Finals, wherein the Chicago Bulls, we know, beat the Los Angeles Lakers. Let me ask you another question. When we think about the 1985 Bears, who do we think about? When we think about that team, who do we think about? How do we remember that team? Do we think about Walter Payton, who actually was second in the league in MVP voting that year? Or do we think about that defense and Mike Singletary, who led it? Who do we think about? Okay? When we think about the 2000 Ravens, do we think about any of the offensive players, or do we think about Ray Lewis? It is my contention that Scottie Pippen should have been the MVP of the 1991 NBA Finals. I get it. Yes, I know about Mike's stat line. It is my contention that Scottie Pippen was a greater singular component to that championship than was Michael Jordan. Okay? Scottie was more impactful because in that series, the Chicago Bulls held the Los Angeles Lakers 14.8 points per game below their season average. It's hard to lose a series when you keep a team 14 points below what they normally score. It's hard to lose a series. Okay? And Scottie Pippen was the unquestioned leader of that defense. Moreover, not only was Scottie Pippen the leader of that defense, Michael Jordan was a defensive liability.
Two great ones digging in, concentrating, one on offense, one on defense, and then at the last second, the hook pass by Magic, finding Divac cutting under the basket.
Scottie Divac, a major factor in this Laker third quarter explosion. 9 for 12 overall. He's hit 5 for 5 in the third. Michael Jordan has been off his game to this point. Magic Johnson.
The Lakers were basically gentlemen swept in that series, 4-1. But to the extent that the Lakers were at all in that series, it is mainly because the Lakers spent that series picking on Michael Jordan. Yeah, that's correct. The Lakers spent that series seeking out Michael Jordan and exposing him. Go back and watch the series. Listen to the commentary. You'll see and pay attention to that. Because I went back and watched the series.
Magic is only 1 for 7 from the floor. And that is number 3 on Jordan.
Notice the matchup, Michael Jordan versus Vlade Divac, because of the fact that Magic Johnson 1 for 5 in the first half with Pippen guarding him much of the time. The Bulls come out this half again with Pippen on Magic. As a result, Jordan must guard someone else, Divac in this case.
And he's going up against the 7'1" Vlade Divac, who's boxing for position down low.
See, now, the situation was this. That Laker team was very tall. Obviously, Magic at 6'9", at the point guard. And then they've got a front line that goes Worthy at 6'8", Sam Perkins at 6'9", and Vlade Divac at 7 feet. Now, you do have Byron Scott at 6'4", but the problem from the Bulls standpoint, from the standpoint of Phil Jackson, what do you do with Michael Jordan? Okay, you have to put Paxson. Paxson has to be on the floor for spacing. Okay. So if Paxson's going to be on the floor, then who does Michael Jordan guard? Well, he's given up 3 inches to Magic Johnson. You're not going to have him guarding James Worthy. Sam Perkins is too big for him. So what Phil Jackson did was he pretty much put Mike on Magic Johnson for most of the series. And then when he wasn't guarding Magic, because Scottie had switched on Magic, they would put Michael Jordan on Vlade Divac. Vlade Divac had a career series.
Lakers have made a decision. They're going down in the hole. Make Jordan play Divac one-on-one. It's a mismatch. Too big, too strong. Backs him down.
Vlade Divac is, I believe, a career 12-point per game scorer. Averaged 18 points per game in that series. Okay? The Lakers won the first game. Mike guarded Magic Johnson during the entire first game. Mike guarded Magic Johnson during the first half of the second game. So as of the second half of the second game, the Lakers are up 1-0, and the Bulls lead by 5 points. It's at that point that Phil Jackson switches, puts Scottie Pippen on Magic Johnson. The entire series changed.
Again, Chicago by 11. The matchup remains Pippen going up against Magic Johnson, and Worthy catching fire now has 16. The ball 64. The Lakers 55. Jordan.
during the second half of Game 2, Magic Johnson made 2 assists when he averaged 12 per game during the series. During the second half, guarded by Scottie Pippen, he had 2 assists, and the Lakers committed 8 turnovers. Okay? The series completely changed at that point. Okay? Again, when Scottie wasn't guarding Magic Johnson, he was keeping James Worthy in check. James Worthy, career playoff average 21 points per game, he was below that. We all know Scottie Pippen plays that sort of help defense wherein he'll sag off of his man because he's so quick and he's long. He can close out to his man and kind of play in the middle of the defense. Well, what would happen is Magic would back Michael Jordan down into the post, and Byron Scott would be over in the far corner. Magic was unable to deliver those long passes to Byron Scott. Byron Scott averaged 4.5 points per game during that series. Okay? So you have a defensive impact that is profound, and it is the reason that the Bulls win this series. Mike scored the points, and they were spectacular. But I mean, at the end of the day, if the Bulls win this series in 7 games, they still have 6 rings. I went back and tracked the point differential for every finals loser since the merger, basically 1977. And so I compared what the losing team scored in the finals to what they scored per game during the regular season. By that metric, this 1991 Bulls performance was the 8th most dominant defensive finals performance in post-merger NBA history. That's, 46 years? Not only were the Bulls dominant defensively, and not only should the credit for that dominance be largely given to Scottie Pippen, while Michael Jordan was a defensive liability in that particular series, Scottie Pippen had a pretty good offensive series. He averaged 20.8 points per game. He averaged 9 rebounds a game, like 7 assists per game. Shot decently from the field. So he was not a liability offensively, unlike Michael Jordan. I really want you to understand the impact of that 14.8 points per game. Let's take the opposite situation. Okay, so in what scenario would an offensive player's output be essential to the team's victory? Okay, well, let's look at the 2000 Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, now the Indiana Pacers scored 5.4 points more than they normally score. As a matter of fact, they outscored the Lakers in that series. Okay, and in one of the games, the Lakers only won by 2 points. I think that was the Kobe game when he came back from injury and He pulled it out in overtime. But 2 points kept that series from going to 7 games. If Shaq doesn't get every single one of the 228 points he scored in that series, the Lakers may well lose it. Okay? So that's a situation wherein the offensive player's offense was most valuable. Without it, the Lakers lose that series. How do you beat a very good team? You take away what they do best. That Laker team was 4th in the league in fewest opponents' rebounds per game. Okay? So when the Lakers gave up fewer than 36 rebounds per game, the Lakers were 16-3. When the Lakers' opponent got more than 36 rebounds, they were much more beatable. 42 and 21, like 66% win percentage. Much more beatable, much more, but 84% win percentage to 66% win percentage. Well, what did the Bulls do? The Bulls got 39 rebounds in that series, led by, guess who? Scottie Pippen, who led both teams in rebounds during that series. Okay? With 47 rebounds during the series. So when we talk about impact, this is what I mean. Okay? And I actually think that this is what Scottie is upset about. Scottie understands the intricacies of winning a basketball game. And he understands that he did a lot of the dirty things, a lot of the things that didn't show up on the box score that made the Bulls a great team. And Michael got all the credit for it. And it's not fair. Scottie Pippen was the real most valuable player at the 1991 finals.